Hey Pyro people, welcome to 2019. I hope you guys had a great holiday season and an even better New Year's, probably with lots of fireworks, hopefully. If not, you probably did it wrong. In this episode, I wanted to discuss the common mistakes that a lot of retailers make when they first start out having a firework business, and the lessons that they learn to overcome those obstacles. As a fireworks wholesaler, Spirit of 76 is fortunate to be able to work with a lot of these seasoned retailers, so I reached out to several of these retailers to see if we could learn anything from their stories and experiences and the lessons that they learned. Lesson number 1. Do your research. Possibly the most common mistake retailers make right off the bat is not having the right selection of product. The key to having a smart product selection is to consider what the buyer wants and not just what you are interested in. Bill, who runs Blazing 7 Fireworks in Converse, Texas, admitted that he started off with a lot of the wrong product. He says that as you prepare for the 4th of July season, you need to do research on what your buyers want in your area. Josh, who operates Midnight Madness Fireworks in Irvington, Kentucky, said he also has this problem, and he was guilty of ordering a lot of the fireworks that he was interested in, not necessarily his customers were able to afford. He said he stocked up on big 500 gram and 350 gram cakes and a lot of artillery shells, but a lot of the customers that came in were looking for fountains and novelties and rockets, sparklers, that sort of thing. And he just didn't have a big selection of them. While it's true that big cakes and artillery shells appeal to big customers that spend about $300 or more, Josh says you really gotta look out for the little guy because you're probably gonna get a lot more people coming in looking for smaller scale items that they can spend under $100 on than getting that one customer who's gonna spend $500. Understanding what your customers want and can afford will help you determine the majority of your stock. Another aspect to research is the cost of actually running a firework business. Evan, who runs Simpson Fireworks in Mexia, Texas, said he really didn't understand all the costs that it would take to run a fireworks business when he was first starting out. Without considering costs like leases, insurance, rentals, labor, and actual product costs, Evan had a false reality on how much he was making and losing within his first year. Evan's advice is simply to reach out to other seasoned retailers and wholesalers to get an understanding of how much this fireworks business will cost. Lesson number 2. Location, location, location. When it comes to actually making sales, the location of your retail store is key. Customers are naturally more attracted to stores that are convenient to find and enter. Powder Monkey Fireworks in Bridgeton, Missouri had the issue of having a location that had very little access to its customers. The owner, Chris, said that his solution was to move his retail locations closer to stoplight intersections. This way more customers will see while driving by. Lesson number 3 is know your product. This might seem like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised. Even though the act of purchasing fireworks doesn't require as much consideration as, say, going to a car dealership and purchasing a new vehicle, your sales staff still need to be able to answer simple questions about each product. Bill from Blazing 7 Fireworks said that he noticed this issue at one of his competitors' stands. When he went to ask them a question about a product, they had no clue. And that's pretty embarrassing and reflects unprofessionally on the fireworks stand itself. So educate yourself and educate your staff on the products that you offer. Having a knowledgeable sales staff will automatically give your retail store a more professional edge and give you a leg up on competitors. Lesson number 4 is to establish an efficient checkout. Another piece of advice from Bill at Blazing 7 is to invest in a POS system sooner rather than later. If you're doing math by hand or in your head or with a calculator and you're making customers wait, this is going to cost you big time. Moving to a POS system drastically increased the efficiency and overall sales at Blazing 7. Bill said that they were ringing up customers 4 times as fast as they had been with nail pouches and calculators. Plus, point-of-sale systems do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Analytically, not literally. A POS software will analyze your sales for you so you can determine which items are your best and worst selling. Having the proper support and staffing is another piece in the puzzle for having an efficient checkout. We heard from Matt, who operates the Whiz-Bang Fireworks Emporium in Republic, Missouri. He said that his biggest mistake was underestimating the support he would need starting out. He also said that having plenty of time to set up and prep is crucial. In the first week or so that his retail location was open, Matt said he felt like he was scrambling and playing catch-up. He He said he didn't have enough support and he was disorganized, so he ended up actually making a lot of customers wait when they were ready to purchase. Luckily, Matt said operations went a lot smoother at Whiz-Bang Fireworks Emporium when he actually sat down and did a lot of the preparation in the weeks and months beforehand. He even said that it's okay to go out of your way to ask for help because sometimes it's necessary. On to lesson number 5. Choosing marketing that is effective and affordable. Identifying how you can best stretch your marketing and advertising dollars is really crucial early on. Now, effective marketing strategies are going to be different for each location. In Josh's situation, radio ads just weren't cutting it for Midnight Madness. However, physical materials like brochures and mailouts proved to be successful for him. He said this past year, he and his family went door to door handing out brochures with coupons to nearly 1,000 homes in their area, and it actually set him apart from the local competition. Having an online presence is also really helpful, and social media can be one of the cheapest and easiest ways to reach your local customers online. So there are dozens of ways to promote your retail operation, but the goal is to find the most affordable and effective way for you to reach your audience. Lastly, I figured it'd be really beneficial for you guys to hear from someone who's very seasoned in the fireworks business, and that's John Bechtel. John has been selling fireworks for over 30 years, so I decided to sit down with him and pick his brain on how he overcame a lot of his mistakes that he made first starting out. Thank you, John, for sitting down with me to talk about kind of your experience as a retailer. Why don't you tell us how long you've been in the retail business?
I've been in I started in the fireworks retail business in 1987. Started here at my family's truck stop west of Columbia, Missouri, and I started with a 20 by 40 tent.
And what made you decide to expand to more locations?
I'm kind of aggressive and wanted to grow the business and wanted to get bigger. And so in my town of Columbia, Missouri, I'm not sure exact stages. I might have gone to 2 or 3, but I got to like 5 or 6 locations.
Within how many years?
And I know I did 1 location for like 3 or 4 years, and then like after 6 years, I had 5 locations.
And how did that rapid growth kind of affect your business?
Good and bad. I mean, I think I grew a lot, and it was very challenging to do it. But yeah, in some ways, I think that focusing and growing on the single location is also a really good idea, as opposed to going to multiple locations.
Do you kind of wish you'd spent more time on the one location?
Yeah, I think I wish I would have built up the one location more, because I think it's better. I think you can become more profitable building up a single location than adding multiple small locations.
So do you think that maybe the multiple locations weren't as profitable as you were hoping?
Yeah, I think in some cases if you set up a location and it doesn't do well, then you can lose money. I mean, of course, that's just business, and that's the risk of doing it. I mean, I did set up some locations that were very profitable and were good locations too when I did it. So it's not an absolute thing. I just think that one mistake that retailers can make is to get too many locations too fast, and without focusing on really improving the location they have.
And do you know how you would maybe measure when a retailer is ready to open a second or third location?
I think when you have your location and you feel like, wow, I've really mastered this location. I've maximized the sales out of it. I've got it down as far as the layout and the parking. I've got the management down, and all the systems are down really well to run this location. Then, and you feel like you're there, and you really don't have room to add more sales because you've kind of maxed it out. That's when I think, and you want to go for it and you want to add that second or third location, that's a good time.
Great. What's another thing that you maybe kind of regret or think that you overlooked while having a tent or starting your retail store?
One thing was like the product line. Not that I didn't have a really good product line, but I think it's really important. And I think it's really, if I can look back, I would have expanded the line and really been more passionate about developing new products. I would have spent more time either going to maybe direct competitors or just talking with other retailers on what products they had and what products were really doing well for them. Because I think if a retailer really knows their product line and makes sure they're delivering the products their customers want.
Have you had any issues with maybe staffing or making sure that you have enough help on the busiest season, so like 4th of July season?
You know, I think sometimes maybe I didn't have enough staff was like, or like all the customers came on like the 3rd or 4th of July, and so then all the staff went to the cash register because we were processing people out, but then we didn't have people on the floor. So one, we couldn't sell to the customers out in the store, talk to them, answer questions. The other thing, we didn't have enough staff to restock. So maybe we had the product under the table or in the trailer, but then like we didn't have the people to restock because we were all tied up at the cash register.
And so maybe like post 4th or in the days following the busy season, is there anything that you've overlooked, any details that you kind of wish you'd gone back and thought more about?
Well, I think taking a good inventory, and sometimes I didn't always take the best inventory at the end of the season. But that's really what, all depends what you spend, but on the fireworks themselves. But you're going to have some product left over, and figuring out one, how much product you got left, how much money you have tied up in that inventory, okay? Whatever that's hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. So you've got that, you need to be aware of that. That's going to affect your financial statements on how much product you got left over. Then the other thing to take the inventory is to figure out how many units you sold of particular items. So if you got 50 pieces of this item, and you got 10 left over, you sold 40 pieces. Okay, and if there's, then you got to figure out how many cases you need to buy prospectively for the next season. Right. So you need to take inventory at the end of the season and then maybe make notes of, okay, next year I'm going to buy more or less of these based upon your ending inventory.
Any other notes on maybe mistakes that you've made just for starting out?
Well, I think getting into the business, I think it's really important for retailers to do research. Research like talking to other people that have been in the business, spending the time to learn about the fireworks business. Maybe they could work at a fireworks stand or help someone out. Just to be prepared, to help you succeed. So taking time in advance and researching the industry.
All right, well, thank you so much, John.
Okay, thanks, Sam.
I'll go ahead and end on a bonus tip, which is to use resources from Spirit of 76. As a lot of our customers can attest, we at 76 are dedicated to your success as an independent retailer. Not only do we sell awesome product with exclusive brands, we also offer resources like insurance, promotional materials, and really any help in getting your retail location up and running. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I hope there was something in there that you could take away to help you in your endeavors. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks, but in the meantime, keep selling and shooting off fireworks.